Because to your point, Holly, I think that's the central thing. Do we have the right to say this display is disrespectful? So it shouldn't be next to that display. And I'll tell you, everything that I have been told and have read so far is no. We don't have the ability to do that. If it's going to be open, it's going to be open, and you can't censor it.
But just remember something, that there are decency standards, you know?
Of course.
So,
I'm not talking about.
and that's kind of what I'm talking about. Like,
I'm not talking about
right.
decency standards, obviously.
There are other laws that don't have to encompass this particular, these guidelines. There are other laws that reasonable people pass that can be applied. Is it obscene? Is it, you know, so I don't think we have to worry about
no,
that.
We don't, no, we don't have to, yeah, a giant naked
Yes,
whatever. Yeah,
exactly.
we're not talking about that. We're talking about, just to use that example, is the
Right.
Festivus pole disrespectful, and do we have the right to say, no, you can't do it because
Right.
it's disrespectful?
I didn't know what it was, so I couldn't really, I was like, I've never heard of that before.
Well,
They had this similar controversy where
Right.
they tried to erect where the Satanists tried to erect the knowledge.
Yeah.
There was nothing,
Right,
a reasonable person could look at that statue and say there's nothing
right.
visually objectionable about
Right.
that sculpture, but the idea that it was representing, or actually not even,
Group.
the group,
Right.
right, was offensive, just
Right.
as the atheists group was offensive to many people in town. That's the kind of censorship that I don't think we have the right to.
Well, it's at a certain level. I'm not sure, I would probably, and I am going to, even though we're gonna have the town where, I'm gonna do some of my own LexisNexis research about Satanism next to a Christian thing. I'm just gonna see if there's anything about it, you know. That'll be my part of a contribution next time.
So you and Marty will have a spirited discussion.
No, well, listen, he's the boss, he's the.
Yeah,
but,
I know.
yeah.
You know,
Listen, you put 10 lawyers in a room, you'll get 10 different opinions, so.
Of course.
11. Or maybe 11.
One is agree with themselves.
Yeah.
All right, I don't want to keep you guys here all night. What other questions do you want to have?
I have just a question, like, for you, not necessarily for Marty. Does the town have any type of diversity or a committee that focuses on building or developing inclusion and
No.
like, where they would have an action plan in place that they're working on building
No.
appreciation of that in
Yeah,
the town?
no, I understand what you're saying. No, it doesn't. Every department and our HR group all have diversity statements, and you know, which is basically included in law. So compliance with ADA and so on. But no, we don't have a committee that focuses on diversity, no. That's a good question, though. All right.
Did we settle on another meeting?
No, but you know, if you remember the original charge, the Board of Selectmen wanted to have this done by June 1st.
Yeah.
So we moved the date back to June 30th.
So our next regular meeting would be June 13th, which is next Thursday. I don't know if, you know, Marty could be prepared for, you know, if we want to stick with the regular meeting or.
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes,
Very
high school
difficult.
I think
graduation,
there'd be a
yeah.
significant number of people that wouldn't be
Yeah.
present.
I wasn't even thinking about that. So with that said, what would you like to do? Do you want to have the Board of Selectmen push it back and us?
Well, is this group right now, do you have your calendars? Can you pick a date, or do you want to have Dion send you an email and poll?
I can pick a date now.
I think, wouldn't it be up to Attorney Lawlers?
Yeah.
I mean, really,
Oh,
you know, and then
Well, yeah, I mean-
whoever of us could, you know, like, we don't all have to be here as long as we had a quorum. Yeah. You
You
know,
know, I'd like, yeah.
or you tell them, this is the night.
Yeah, basically. I mean, unless he has an ironclad appointment with a client or something, I'd just say you gotta be here.
Okay. Yeah, I know my availability.
Okay, can somebody suggest a date? What do you-
Are we trying for next week, or are we trying for further out than that?
It's up to you.
Do we need to do Thursdays?
We don't need to do Thursdays, just my 2 cents is, like having it within a 2-week period to me keeps everything very fresh and the
Yeah.
conversation going, and the gaps have made, have allowed it to be a little
How
disjointed.
about June 19th?
So,
June 19th has been suggested.
It's a Wednesday.
That's a Wednesday. I, as far as meeting room A goes, and this is where we have the recording device, I blocked off Thursday nights, kind of sticking with that, so it's easiest for me to get that room. If Thursday nights are working for y'all and we can keep Thursday nights, then let's just keep moving forward with that.
So you think the 20th?
So would the 20th work?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, works.
2 weeks.
Works for
20.
me.
We have someone who it doesn't work
No,
for.
that won't work for me.
Is there anything else on the calendar that evening?
Let me check.
Board of Ed's that evening?
So, no on the 20th? Is that one?
I don't know what our standard is going to be. If somebody can't be here, will we still convene or, and I'm not making that determination. I'm asking the group what we're going to.
How many people do you need for a quorum?
6.
So if one of us can't be here, that's not.
Well, I'm sorry, this is who was, we don't have anybody that took the oath that's not here tonight, do we? I don't think so.
No, I think this is the
1, 2,
committee.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So, yeah, we would need 5 here, not 6, I'm sorry, 5. So, we just need to figure out what, because at this point, we can vote this in as a regular meeting, and we can schedule, and if we go with that, with the 20th, and then we decide that we want to push, then push it out till the,
July 4th is
then we
also
could do
Tuesday.
July 18th also.
That's such a huge gap. I agree with
Well,
what you're
monthly
saying.
meetings,
Yeah.
that's what commissions and,
Yeah.
you know, committees usually,
What about the
usually have
27th?
monthly meetings.
Right, I understand that.
Does is this room available on the 27th?
Yes. So, if you wanted to do a back-to-back like that.
I think that they were you proposing the 27th instead of the 20th?
That's what I was.
Do we think we're gonna need 2 more? Is that fair to say?
Well, and if we
Yeah.
did the 20th and the 27th and had intentions of coming to a conclusion by the 27th, then we would meet the date that the Board of Selectmen set for us and not have to extend that date out again.
Well, I can make it.
Yep, I can do it.
I can do both.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, then a motion would need to be put on the table to vote to have our regular meetings on July 20th, July 27th, at 6:30 PM. June, I'm sorry, in meeting room A, and vote on that.
Okay, I make a motion to have our regular meeting on June 20th and June 27th at 6:30 here in meeting room A.
I'll second your motion.
Okay.
All in favor?
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Sorry, that was my job. I forgot. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, now, enough of all this fun stuff. Now you have to elect officers. Who wants to be chair?
I nominate Tim.
I nominate Holly.
I nominate Holly.
Oh. Nominations don't require a second. Who would care to do this?
Okay, can I just, who nominated Holly?
I did.
Danielle did.
And who second? Somebody needs to second Tim, and then someone needs to second Holly if there's a second for
I'll
either.
second Tim. What's the name of it? Forest Rings.
Can you arm wrestle for me?
Well, somebody want to be chair and the other be vice chair?
I think we can, why don't we be co-chairs?
You can do that.
I should take it.
Okay.
Great, that's good.
We have to vote on it.
Okay,
Okay.
so I'm sorry, did you didn't accept the nomination,
I
Tim?
don't.
Okay,
Was that a no, or,
No.
I didn't hear.
Yes and no. I did not accept the nomination.
Oh, okay, all right. Holly?
I'll accept it.
Okay,
Thank you, Holly.
thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Okay, so are there any further nominations? Hearing none, those in favor of Holly being chair, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? You don't get to vote, Holly.
I know.
No, you
I like
Did you
to.
vote against yourself?
Almost did.
Okay, we'll accept the nomination for vice chair.
vice chair. The nominations for vice chair.
Tim Martin, I nominate Tim Martin, vice chair.
I second it.
Okay, is that okay?
Yes.
Any other nominations? Hearing none, those in favor of Tim Martin as vice chair, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That motion carries. Thank you very much to both of you.
Secretary?
Yeah, so we need a secretary. The secretary's function in this, we have a recording secretary, but the elected secretary would, let's say when you do create a recommendation, the secretary signs it on behalf of the board. So who would care to be secretary? It's the easiest job in the world.
I'll nominate Mary, she had it last.
Yeah, right.
Okay,
I second it.
all right. Are there any further nominations? Is that okay with you? Okay. Those in favor of Mary as secretary, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much. That concludes the agenda, and I'll entertain well, actually, Holly, you can take over at this point.
Okay, so I'll entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I second it.
All in favor? Yay! Any opposed? Yay! Thank you, everybody. It really.
Quiet, we've all been.
Very nice.
Okay, I tell you what I'm gonna do, well, and Matt, you tell me if this is okay, but I'll put this list of questions together. I'll send it to you as a board first to make sure that I've got things the way that you want it, and then I'll forward it to Attorney Lawler. Is that okay?
That's perfect, and I would also say, if you think of a question in the
Yeah.
meantime that's not in there, feel free to add.
Yeah.
We don't have to do it as a group just to add questions, so that's perfectly
Yeah, you'll probably
acceptable.
reach out to Marty, tomorrow, just to make sure that he's like not on
Oh, yeah.
vacation
I'll
or
get it,
something
yep.
like that.
Yep. Marty's used to us bothering.
Oh, Marty's in Europe for the next 3 weeks.
Is he?
No, I'm just.
Oh, I was gonna say, I wish I was.
It wouldn't be unheard of.
Very nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you too, pleasure.
I wanted to know.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Holly.
you're welcome. Okay,
I'm
thanks,
so glad
everybody.
you're on this committee.
Oh, thank you. I
You really
appreciate
are
it.
such a, yeah, and you really, I mean, you're a lawyer, that's fabulous.
Well, thank you. But I try not to add.
No, well, we need your expertise, and it's fabulous. But where do you practice?
My husband and I have a small practice that we just purchased. I just started re-practicing. My daughter, I just sent her off to school. And she just finished her freshman year, so now when she went off, no, she has a job up there. She goes to Smith up in Northampton, so.
My daughter went to Mark.
Did she? My daughter was deciding between the two, so. But I just started practicing again. Long
Board
time
of Ed,
ago.
and I was like,
Now I
finish.
Yes, well, I had a
Well,
five.
really,
Committees. I had one of my five, and I